Talk about timing. The exact week that I was set to go back on TV every single day as a TV anchor, Armoire reached out to us asking if they could support our podcast for women over 50. So let me just tell you right now, a clothing rental service can be life-changing. I've tried more than one, and with plans that start at just $69, Armoire offers the highest value so far. You'd be amazed at how many women you know take advantage of choosing from hundreds of top designers, getting that package delivered for free, wearing the items, not having to clean them, and then sending them back. And before you even send them back, you get to select and order your next shipment. And you know what? I've always wondered how when women go on vacation, they seem to have incredible new outfits to wear for every single activity. Well, the secret is out. Armoire. Christine and I would love to share this gem of a secret with you and help you get up to 50% off your first month. Go to Armoire, ARMOIRE, armoire.style/UU podcast. Armoire.style/UU podcast. And then be sure to send us all of the fabulous pictures you'll be taking in your temporarily new to you outfits.
Welcome to Uncluttered and Unfiltered, the podcast urging you to let it go and don't look back, with nationally acclaimed professional organizer Christine Stone and self-proclaimed hot damn mess radio and TV personality Eden Kendall.
Welcome to Uncluttered and Unfiltered. It's the podcast for women over 50. But you know what? I don't know if I feel like it. Can't we do this podcast later?
Don't procrastinate.
There you go. That's the subject we're going to talk about right now. Procrastination. Procrastination about everything in life. Sometimes it has to do with being organized. Sometimes it has to do with just the everyday tasks at hand. Before we get into our subject, I do want to tell you a story about someone who procrastinated doing something, and thank goodness their wife nagged them until they did it. And I'm talking about my husband. Finally, and I have his blessing to tell this story, after me nagging him for 8 straight years, had a physical and a colonoscopy, finally. And when he was recovering from the anesthesia at the clinic for the colonoscopy, one after another, the different nurses and practitioners and even the doctor came in and said, "Is this the woman that told you you needed to get this done? You should thank her."
Oh, my
He had a
gosh.
polyp that was 5 centimeters.
Wow.
They said it was most definitely the kind that could become aggressive later. Caught it in time, knock wood. Everything was sent off for pathology, no problems to speak of, but 3 or 4 polyps, one being 5 centimeters. So I texted the whole family in a group chat and said, I'm kind of a hero.
Yes, you are.
I mean, the reason I'm sharing this is, ladies, if you're finding yourself having to nag a man in your life,
Yep.
continue to do it. Don't let them dissuade you. Don't let them say, because a colonoscopy, and if you don't know, it's preventative. It's not
Yes.
just a test to see if you're already sick. It's a way to keep you from getting
Yes.
colon cancer,
Yeah.
and colorectal cancer.
Yes.
I mean, you've got to catch these polyps.
Yep. Well,
So-
colon cancer runs in my family.
Oh.
So I'm a very big proponent of getting your colonoscopy.
And you should have your first one by the time you're 50.
Yes.
And then they'll tell you when you have to come back. For him, they said 1 year. We'll see you
Yep.
next year. For me, they said 10 years. I was clean as a whistle, knock wood, but I don't I don't take that for granted. I'll be back.
No, that's
I'll be back
great
for
though.
that 10 year.
Yeah, everybody, please get your colonoscopy. I look at it now as a cleanse.
Yeah, we've talked
When
about
you're
this.
older, it's just like a cleanse.
Yeah.
You kind of feel really good.
You feel empty and light, and then you get that nice nap.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
fantastic. It's the best.
Yes.
And you get the, day off with blessing from your job.
Yes.
And everybody caters to you, and you.
And you get the propofol, which is the best sleep you'll ever have in your
Right.
entire life.
Exactly. So there's that. That's one thing I wanted to discuss. What else? Did you
Well, I want to discuss that you're on the cover of Senior Living magazine.
Let me just tell you what that was like. I'm reading my emails. Thank you. I'm reading my emails and I see, "Hi, Eden, we would love to put you on the cover." And I'm saying magazine and cover. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is cool. And then I see Senior Living, and I choked on my coffee. My husband and I started howling. We were laughing so hard. It's First Coast Senior Living, local to our
I
city.
can't wait to see it.
Well, but the thing is, they say the magazine caters to people 55 and up. But to me, I thought, I mean, should I say no? Like, what kind of message is that sending if I say no? Because then it looks like I'm embarrassed of my age. But should I be promoting my age? I don't know.
Promote your age. I can't wait to see it and read. Is
there
a full article?
Full interview.
Okay,
it's not
I
out
can't
yet.
wait. I'm so excited.
I will share the link with everyone.
Good.
I mean, it's virtual and it's a physical magazine.
Yay.
I'm still going to send it to my mommy, but what will that feel like as a mom to receive a magazine with your daughter on the cover, and it's a senior magazine, and it's your offspring on there? Like, how old does that make a person feel?
That makes the mom feel really old.
I know. And my daughter, even when I told her, she's like, and you said yes? I said, yeah,
Right.
I said yes. Why not?
Why not? I think it's an honor, in
I'm
my
honored.
opinion.
I'm very
But that's
flattered.
because I'm over 52.
Right.
So
I'm very flattered. I mean, it did cross my mind. Like, should I find out if it's okay for me to do this? You know, would my employer be okay with it? But then I thought, you know what? Who's going to tell me no on that? You know, I mean,
Right.
I'm not kidding anybody. I don't think anybody out there watching doesn't know.
right.
So
Embrace it.
Embrace
your
it.
age.
you have to. You have to. It's not like they're beating down my door to put me on the cover of magazines, and I got to promote the podcast. So
Right.
there you go.
Hey, I love it.
There it is. So let's talk about procrastination, because I would think that is at the heart of so many people's lives that you deal with as a professional organizer.
Well, I'm going to read the definition because this couldn't be more spot on. Procrastination is the act of delaying or putting off tasks, often due to feelings of feeling overwhelmed, fear of failure, or the lack of motivation. Bingo.
Bingo.
I think that says exactly what I deal with when I have clients. It's either they're scared to do anything because it may not look good or be what it should be or use the products they should use, or they're just so tired and they're not motivated. It's like, I'm exhausted, or I don't have the energy for this. So I think it's in every part of everybody's lives at some point, whether it's your job, even in your relationships.
Sure.
You know, I think it affects even friendships. Like,
I haven't seen her in a
Right.
month. I really need to call her and set up a time, but
Right.
it's such a busy time
Right.
right now, and everything's easier to put off. So,
Right.
I mean, I think we all know the dark part of that, where you really do need to make a point to see people you love, because you just don't know. And
Right,
you never
that's
wanna,
so true.
You never want to kick yourself
Right.
later. But even on the lighter side of things, there's just such a propensity for me, like, this is something that I suffer with all the time, to just say, especially when it comes to organization, you know, I'll finish later. That's one of the reasons you always tell people to start with small areas when
Right.
it comes to organizing, because should you get started and then try to procrastinate, you don't have your entire house turned inside out.
Exactly. And I see a lot of that where people have the best intentions and then, they just don't have the energy. They're good for 2 hours maybe, and then that's it. And they are done. So you don't want to start and pull everything out of every room. You want to start small. So
Through the years, you've given some tips on avoiding procrastination. One of my favorite all-time anti-procrastination tips, and again, we're talking now about decluttering, but this could apply to so many things, is when you said schedule pickups, schedule like the charities that do
Right.
pickups to come to your house on like this Saturday or next Saturday. So you have no choice. Someone is showing up to
Right.
come and get your thing. So you have to purge. You have no choice in the matter.
Right. I really, really am a big proponent of if it's in your area, having a donation pickup, because number one, you're not picking through the stuff. And number two, it's out of your house. You don't have to walk around it or shove it in another closet or a room. So part of procrastination is I'll shove it in the other room and get to
Yeah.
it later. And that's kind of defeating the purpose. And I like how you schedule even organization on your phone or on your
Yeah, I do.
calendar.
I do.
So I think that's a good thing. If you're a procrastinator, scheduling things on your calendar makes you feel like you have to accomplish them.
Right. And so there are things that I procrastinate even in my notebook. I will take an event and I will move it. I'll have written it 3 different times. And the third time I go to move it, I'm like, nope.
Right.
Nope. And I'll give you an example of that. Getting an oil change. I might put oil change on my calendar for Wednesday. Well, I might erase that and move it to a week later. By the third time that sounds like a really weak way to approach your procrastination. I should just say, nope, I'm not allowed to move it. But I know me well enough to know that if I've moved it a few times, I've got to decide that I'm not allowed to do any of the other things on my to-do list until I get that done. And that's procrastination when it's something that's not fun to do is really the problem. Nobody ever procrastinates when it's something fun. Hey, let's go shopping. Nah, let's do that next week.
Right. Well, another thing I think that happens is distractions. So when you're doing any task, minimizing distractions, because when I'm organizing and we're setting a schedule and they're like, well, my husband will be home or my kids are off school that day, I automatically say, why don't we schedule another day? Because if you have kids coming in and out going, mom, or grandkids, or you have things going on around you, I'm telling you, it's distracting and nothing gets done. So minimizing the distractions so then you won't procrastinate. Like, oh, I can't finish this because such and such. I have to pick the kids up at school. I've got to do this. I've got a dental appointment, a hair appointment. Don't plan to do anything if you have distractions coming. You know what I mean?
Have you ever heard of a hormone disruptor? It doesn't sound good because it isn't, and they're everywhere. If you're starting to feel overwhelmed by hormonal changes, we've got something great to share with you. It's called Hormone Harmony, and it contains science-backed herbal extracts called adaptogens. And here's the beauty about those. They help the body adapt to stressors like chaotic hormonal changes. You're not imagining the racing thoughts or the low moods because those are menopause symptoms. So is poor sleep, bloating, and gas. Happy Mammoth, the company that created Hormone Harmony, is dedicated to making women's lives easier. Try Hormone Harmony. For a limited time, you can get 15% off your entire first order at happymammoth.com. Use our code UUPodcast at checkout. That's happymammoth.com. Use the code UUPodcast for 15% off today. Go to happymammoth.com and use the code UUPodcast. Uncluttered and Unfiltered is supported by Hearts for Minds. Can you imagine waiting 10 years to get screened for cancer? On average, people with mental health issues experience a 10-year delay between symptoms and seeking help, and close to 2/3 of mental illnesses go untreated. Hearts for Minds promotes healthy lives by promoting mental health education, facilitating early identification, and connecting people to treatment. Are you ready to learn more? Go to heartsforminds.org. That's hearts, the number 4, minds.org for more information and to learn how you can help. Our buddy Mel Robbins, among her things that she says, the Let Them book was a big book for her, but another big book for her was her 5-second rule book. And her 5-second rule book was about you have something you want to do and you give yourself 5 seconds and you say, I'm going to get up out of this bed in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you've got to do it. And for procrastinators, that's a tough thing because I am very likely to say 5, 4, 5.
Right.
Back to 4. 10.
I don't know if that so much would work for me. But I like the concept. I just don't know if people can get up and go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, you know.
Sure.
But I do think most of procrastination is like you said, you're doing something that you're not like. Although I take that back. There are concerts, events, and I'm still like, oh, maybe it'll rain, or like I still.
Oh, I'm sorry that event got canceled.
Right.
Oh,
right.
darn.
Right.
Darn.
Exactly.
That is
that's me.
That's terrible.
Right. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry to hear that. But
What a shame.
so I think even no matter what it is, you can procrastinate. Like, oh, I need to get dressed for this event. I've got to start now. I've got to start getting ready now. And the older you get, I feel like you have to start getting ready like 2 hours before an event.
But you see, I am not physically, mentally, brain-wise able to do that. It has to be a hurry. I have have to write the essay the night before. That's how I live, that we know this.
Right.
So, have you ever heard of the eat the frog method?
No.
Okay, it's an old school kind of a business to-do manual type theory called Eat the Frog. And the theory is if you eat a frog first thing in the morning, everything else you do the whole day will be better than that. So the idea is pick out which thing on your to-do list is the frog, get it done first, because the rest of the day, everything seems easy after that.
So that's interesting.
Knock out the crappiest part of your day first.
Right.
Get it done.
And also, I'm a list maker, as we all have talked about. And I think having a list and you can put in order, like fun things or tolerable things to not so tolerable. But as long as you get them checked off at some point, even in that week, I just don't let it go past that 1 week.
So that's a great example of where Eat the Frog comes in. So you have this list in front of you, and a couple of those things, you're going to have no problem getting them done because, one of them is maybe shop for a brand new outfit for an event on Amazon or wherever.
Right.
And, that's enjoyable. You're going to do that, right? Maybe when you're scrolling later on. So that's on your list, but you don't have to worry about that. You're going to do it. But the one that's like, schedule an oil change, just get that done first. That's the Eat the Frog method.
Right. I agree. I think and also what I do is I'll take like 15 minutes if I have a long list and just sit down and just do what's like if it's scheduling a dentist appointment, a doctor's appointment, or scheduling your air filter change for your house or whatever it is, the AC, doing those things all at one time, like just knocking them out and getting them done and then moving on to other things the next day that aren't, but scheduling things, just sit down and you have to do it for 5 minutes and just schedule what you need. Doctor's appointment, dentist appointment, whatever it is.
The end of the day is a great time to really look at your next day's list as well. So starting out your day, you want to look at that list, but it's also, for me anyway, I can say that it's really helpful for me before I finish work for the day, for example. But we're talking about lists for home life, everything.
Right.
But before I finish for the day, to look at the next day's list and really kind of clean it up. Sometimes I'll get a fresh piece of paper and rewrite it because I might have crossed some things out or moved them forward.
I do that all the time too.
So writing and rewriting. I mean, not everyone is a list person, but for me, I've discovered I have to be now.
Yeah. Another thing I tell clients is I see people beating themselves up a lot when they don't tackle, when they're procrastinating. I'm not a big beat yourself up kind of person. I mean, if it doesn't get accomplished today, there's always tomorrow. I've told my kids that about so many things in life. If something doesn't happen today, it can always happen tomorrow. So don't beat yourself up over it. Just keep that list going and make it a point to at least cross off 2 things off that list a day. And don't beat yourself up over it because that just brings negative energy throughout the whole day. Like if you're saying those words like, God, you're such a loser, I should have gotten that done by now. It's just not, it doesn't get anything done any faster.
To me, the thing I and I would love everyone to think about this too. What is the one thing that you procrastinate about the most? For me, and I think I've even mentioned this a few times, I keep saying scheduling this or scheduling that. It's making appointments, specifically when I have to pick up a phone and call someone, like for a doctor's appointment. It's funny how you hate the portal. And I mean,
hate the portal.
I'm learning to love the portal.
She loves the portal. I hate the portal.
So we're talking about whenever you have a doctor that you visit now, they don't want you to call them. They want you to go through the portal. I can't stand having to pick up the phone and make an appointment because then I've got to get my calendar out and then they're suggesting a day and I'm looking at the day and I can't make that day. And that's the thing that I'm constantly procrastinating. I'm moving it forward. Okay, I have to make a hair appointment. I have to make a nail appointment. These kind of things.
So how do you make a hair appointment? There's no portals for
Well,
that.
there's no portal for that. Fortunately, my stylist is also a very close friend.
So you text her.
But I don't even, even that's kind of a pain because then she comes back with 3 days and then I come back with a day. It's like high stakes negotiating.
And I think I'm just saying, I think a lot of procrastination came once texting came.
Yeah.
Because to me, it is easier to pick up a phone and talk to a
Right.
real human being and just get it done than texting back and forth. No, I can't do that date. Well, what about this date? No, can't do that date either. What about it's just too much. I just feel like maybe I just don't like to type that much or
it's easier to call.
yeah,
I give you that.
I feel like that's been a major problem is texting, because text to me, and you and I have talked about this, they're also misconstrued. a
Oh,
lot.
I had a huge back and forth text chain going yesterday and today, and then she finally picked up the phone
Yes.
and called me because she was like, I don't even know what we're talking about anymore. And I said, I admit I don't either.
Yes.
I mean, we were talking about two different events.
Right.
Back and forth. It was just very, very confusing. So
Well, I'm hoping that one day it goes back to the phone, but I'm not I feel like it won't, but I'm hoping that phone.
I don't know. Things are really making a turn back. I mean,
I
there are a
hope
lot
so.
of things where
I hope so, because
Yeah.
I am not a texter and I am not a portal gal at all.
a portal gal.
I'm not a portal gal.
Well, nobody's trying to turn you into a portal gal. Although I gotta say, I'm loving the portal for my doctor. She is so reachable.
Really? Yeah, I
Yes.
guess that's the difference. They give me the portal and you can't get in touch with anybody. And it's just so frustrating because then you're like, okay, who am I talking to? It's
Right.
never like your actual doctor. And I just think, again, it's messaging back and forth. It's so time consuming. But anyway, enough of
Yeah.
my,
We could do, for every little gripe we have, we could do entire episodes on
Oh, yeah.
that specific gripe. We would go on and on.
Exactly.
But that's, you know what? That's the privilege of age and wisdom, I say.
I agree.
So
Because young people love the portal.
they love the portal.
They love the portal. Young people love the portal.
So what else do we want to cover for procrastination? I mean, I do want to ask everybody to let us know what it is they procrastinate about the most. I'll put something up in our Facebook group, which is don't procrastinate on this. It's called Uncluttered and Unfiltered Ladies Only. And you can join us in that group. That's where people will post things. Sometimes someone will have a funny meme. Sometimes it's just a question among the ladies. And it's a place where you can feel like it's a safe space. We have all the other social media as well, and we always invite you to share us with just one friend, a woman over 50 that you know that might enjoy taking us along with her for a walk or the drive to work.
Yeah. And also, if you do finish your procrastination list, reward yourself, because I think that's so important to have rewards once you complete something, whether it's cleaning out your closet, buy one item of clothing that you've been dying to buy, or a pair of shoes once you get rid of 10 pairs or 5 pairs. Rewarding yourself when you finish a long list or a task in your home.
That's a great idea. That's a fantastic
Because it'll
idea.
motivate you.
Yeah, you know what I might do? I might go through my little to-do book and pull out everything I know that I've been moving around and just say that if I can get all of these right, I'm going to get myself one of those red light masks.
See?
Because I've been wanting one of those, and I just think
I
that would be
highly
good.
recommend them.
I know
Highly.
you do. I know that I've been procrastinating getting one. All right, everybody. So let's just say it like this. If there's something on your to-do list and you've been procrastinating, you can do it tomorrow, but don't completely let it go. But for today, you can let it go.
And don't look back.